So this week's lecture is going to be an intro to Bootstrap. I'm not going to go over all the background to Bootstrap or anything like that. Suffice it to say that Bootstrap is a much more complicated template than Toast. It's got a lot of bells and whistles. I'm going to talk about some of those in the future weeks. Let's just jump right into it and build something with Bootstrap. I think the best way to figure out how to use it. So what I'm going to do, I'm not actually going to download the stuff from the Bootstrap website itself. There's a lot of stuff on here. You can search around if you want. I think there's some better stuff out there if you just Google Bootstrap templates. One of the first websites that comes up is startbootstrap.com. This first link is great. I'm going to go to that first link, startbootstrap.com, because it's got a lot of really great templates that I can use that are already pre-skinned and ready to go. I'm going to show you the pluses of this right here. Any one of these are fine to work with. I'm going to go ahead and grab this agency template. Now, you'll see this agency and this creative template, and actually really all these templates, this one especially, all over the place on the web. People use these all the time. How do you get them? Preview and download. I'm going to go to the live preview if you want to see what it looks like. Let me click it, and we'll see what this thing is supposed to look like. Let's download here, or scroll down here. Little portfolio section, about section, looks pretty good. I like the look of it. I'll close that, and I'm going to download it. So let's download a template from the Start Bootstrap website. I'm going to download this. I'm going to put it right in the correct folder. I've got a week 5 folder started for myself. I'm going to save it into that folder, and then when that's done downloading, I'm going to go unzip it. So it's done now. Quit Chrome. Okay, here's the zip file that it gave me right there. So I'm going to unzip the zip file, and again, depending on whether you're on Mac or PC, it's important to remember to unzip this thing first. If you don't extract it, none of the interior files will work. So double click it or right click and extract if you're on PC. Throw away the original zip file because we won't need it. And I'm actually going to go one step further, and I'm going to take all the guts of this folder, and I'm going to bring it back into my week 5 folder. I don't like this name on this subfolder, so I'm going to drop this in here. And I'm going to delete my original folder here so I don't have to worry about it. All right, what we've got here, just break it down real quick. We got some subfolders. The important thing is this index file, though. This is what we're going to edit. This is what you would bring into brackets, which I'm going to do in a minute. But first things first, let's double click it to test it. So let's see what this thing actually looks like. Aha, here we go. It's exactly what I was looking at on the web. It's got some anchors here, which anchor to different sections, right? Looks pretty slick. This thing's ready to edit. So what do we do? How do we customize this thing? So we can take this thing, this template, and drop this index file directly into an editor like brackets. So if I go to brackets and go to File, Open, and open this index file, or drag and drop it here, here's what you get. It's complicated. There's a lot of stuff happening in here, but the neat thing is we can modify all of it. Okay, you just have to learn to read the right chunks of code. So let's say, for instance, if we wanted to take this template that we've got here, so let me open it back up in a browser window, and I wanted to add my own content into here. So say, for instance, like right here where it says it's nice to meet you, I want to put my own welcome, like, week 5 web 2 up here or something like that. What you got to do is find the correct section. Okay, so easiest way, I think, is just go directly to your template, copy a chunk of text that you're trying to find, go back to your editor, and do a Control F or Command F if you're on Mac. You can paste in what you've just copied into this little box that comes up in brackets, and it will jump right to the section that you want to edit. If we look right here, line 65 says it's nice to meet you in this masthead container, right? So I'm going to go ahead and swap this out. I'm going to see if this is the right chunk. I'm going to go in here and say, okay, week 5 template mod. Save it. And I'm going to go over to my web page and refresh it. Bingo, there we go. I've just swapped out a piece of this template. It's kind of that same process all the way down the page. Now, something to think of with these templates when you're grabbing these things off the internet to use, there's a lot of different things we're going to get into with Bootstrap that you can put inside these templates. You can use these things default the way they are. We definitely want to change some things in these templates, though, when we're working with them, like colors. colors are one of the most common things you're going to change in these templates. Now, changing the text in the HTML is pretty easy. You just do that directly through the editor here. You go in, you find whatever chunk you want to get to, and you modify it. If you notice, all this stuff is separated all out into divs. It's pretty complicated, but it's all cleanly listed. So that's not where we change all of our look and feel. That's just content that we add inside here. The look and feel we change with the CSS. So how do we do that? Pretty useful concept. If you roll over an element that you want to change. Now, it can be any one of these elements. It could be, let's just say we want to change the text color here. Okay, and then we're going to change the button color next. So here's my strategy. Download your template. Open your template in a browser window. I've got mine in Chrome. Right click on what piece you want to change. Let's say I want to change this from white to, I don't know, red. Right click it and inspect it. Inspect will open up the dev tools on your developer's console here. This is a developer's console in Chrome. When you right click and inspect, this comes up. Now, this is particularly useful whenever you are modifying templates. What we can do is we can inspect a specific, over here is your HTML. If you notice, this is the exact same stuff that you're seeing in your code editor over here, right? It's the exact same code. I can narrow down what I want to change, div class intro heading text, right? It says week 5 template mod. You can prototype changes right here in the browser if you want. Also, the benefit, you can see what chunk of CSS is controlling what chunk of HTML. So I can see that this chunk, this div class intro dash heading and text dash uppercase are the two classes that comprise this heading chunk here. So let's say, for instance, I want to change my intro dash heading color to red. Now, this is intro dash heading. I'm going to prototype this change right in the browser. I'm going to go to the end of this line and I'm going to do color red. Aha, look, check it out. It changed right over here. Now, red doesn't really match with my template, so I'd want to maybe change this to like yellow or gold, right? Something like that to kind of match our template. The gold looks pretty good. Matches a little better. The neat thing is, I know that this worked because it worked in my browser window. Now I could go into my CSS and I could develop a change for this, intro dash heading. That works. I'm going to copy that chunk of CSS. Okay. Now here's the cool thing. I'm going to go to my HTML page in brackets. Okay. Check this out. I'm going to go into the head of my document. I'm going to open up a style tag. I'm going to say .intro dash heading, which is the style. Remember, I just grabbed. I'm going to do color gold. Okay, so I'm not. This is a permanent change that I have added to this document. Now, the difference, what I've done here, I first prototyped it in the browser. The browser change is only a temporary change. If I'm adding this in my browser, that doesn't permanently change anything. That just gave me the chunk of CSS that I want to identify and change in my document. Now, what I'm doing in my document is overriding my external style sheet, which comes with Bootstrap, with an internal style tag. Now, the internal style tag, remember the hierarchy of style sheets. Hopefully somebody in Web 1 talked about this a little bit. Internal style tags should, by default, override an external style sheet every time. Internal style tags have a stronger hierarchy than external tags do. So this should, if I've done it right, if I save this, I'm going to close my developer's console. I'm going to refresh my document. Ah, check it out. The change worked. It's stuck. It stayed in my browser.